Hey y'all, it's All of Destiny, and today I'll be using the complete Salon Acrylic Kit by Kiss to do my nails today. So I want to begin by showing you all how I prepped my nails. Also, we will be following the instruction sheet that Kiss did include, but I'll also be adding in a few of my own steps that I now do to my nails as well. So reading the instructions, it says to clean nails of any polish or oil with nail polish remover, trim and file the free edge of your nails, push back your cuticles with the manicure stick, and gently roughen the entire nail surface using the fine side of the file. This will ensure maximum adhesion and strength. Instead of using a manual file, I'm just using my electric drill to do so. And then when I go to the portion of pushing back my cuticles, I'm going to swap out to a different bit and just use that to clean up around my cuticle area. Whether you're using an electric drill or a manual cuticle pusher, you definitely want to clean up your cuticle area to make sure that your nails do not lift. So let's go ahead and discuss the price of this kit. I picked mine up from my local Walgreens. It was $14.79 plus tax. I did double check Amazon since I like to find the best prices to share with you all, and Amazon does have the same kit for the same price. Both links will be in my description box down below. This is a really good price for everything to be included in this kit. So disclaimer, I'm not a professional and I do not take clients. I rather teach you than do for you. Enjoy the video. Included in this kit, we have the 20 sculptured nail forms. These come in handy if you don't want to use the tips. You can put these underneath your natural nails to build your acrylic freehand. Buffing block included, a damping dish to pour the acrylic liquid into, the apple fresh liquid to mask the harsh odor of the acrylic liquid, nail glue, the acrylic liquid. This is the 14 milliliter one. Acrylic primer to better help the acrylic adhere to our natural nails. Clear acrylic powder. And also, if I would have read the directions, it does say that the drawer slides open. You pull slowly from the bottom. But you get 24 white tips, 40 natural tips included in this kit for a total of 64 tips. Instead of storing all the tips into one single bag, they are separated by size into this container. There's also a two-way nail file included, a professional acrylic brush, or that's what the packaging says, also a wood stick, and I'm just going to use that to push back my cuticles. So this is the alternative to using the electric file. To remove any dust from my nails, I'm going to take rubbing alcohol. I purchased that little dish from Dollar Tree. Another option for this would just be washing your hands and patting them dry with a paper towel. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the instructions. When I was a beginner, I definitely tried my best to follow the instructions since I was starting from scratch. These are the same kits, by the way, that I did use when I started doing my nails, so that's why I thought this video would be cool. Plus, some of you all did recommend it to me to try this out again. From the tip selection and application section, it says to select the proper size and nail tip for each individual finger. If needed, file the sides of the artificial tip for a customized fit, and you want to place them aside in a sequence. All of the tips are numbered so you can write them down for next time. If you would like to follow along with this video, feel free to pause before moving on to the next step. Before I begin, I'm just going to go ahead and trim down some of my nails, and I'm going to apply a drop of the glue into the wheel. So following the instructions, it says apply a small amount of the Kiss maximum speed glue into the weld area of the artificial tip and press into the natural nail, and you want to hold firmly for 5 seconds. In bold, it says important. Make sure there are no visible air pockets in the bonding area. If so, you want to remove your tip and start over. So for me, basically, I align the edge of the tip with my natural nail, and I do a diagonal kind of placement so that I'm slowly applying it onto the nail, if that makes sense. I think visually you all get what I mean more so than my explanation. One drop on some of the nails was definitely too much, but I couldn't figure my way around doing half of one drop, so I just decided to wipe away the excess using the remainder of the alcohol that was on my cotton ball. Now we're going to trim and file the artificial tip to the desired length and shape. And I want to definitely trim these down. I couldn't imagine wearing these at the natural length, or not natural length, but the length that they come before clipping them. That little trimmer that I'm using was not included. I think I got that off of eBay. You can also use a regular nail clipper to do this. I'm going to go ahead and trim the sides since I want to do the coffin shape, and I'm using the nail file that Kiss did provide to better shape the nails before we do the acrylic application. It'll be easier to kind of shape the nail prior to putting all of the acrylic on and then trying to shape from square to coffin. If you would like to spend that extra amount of time without trimming your nails or just getting a head start, using the nail cutter, you can just go in with the file. I'm showing you all what that looks like here, but it would definitely take a longer amount of time to taper in the sides of the nails. So I would recommend using a nail clipper, and this also helps on the filing time since you only have one file included in the kit. The first nail that you trim, if you're satisfied with that shape, align it along the next nail and continue that sequence to make sure that they're all the same length. The step that you see me doing now is not included in the instructions, but to hide the excess of the nail tip that sits on top of the natural nail, I basically file over that. Honestly, I didn't feel like doing this step to all 10 of my nails, that I kind of just stopped doing it. And to get these perfectly straight, I like to hold my file in a straight motion, hold my hand as straight as possible, and file back and forth. Now I'm taking the primer, and you only want to apply this to the natural nail. We don't really need primer on an artificial tip. You want to make sure that the acrylic will adhere to the natural nail. So that is what this step is for. When I apply my primer, I like to go hand by hand, so I won't apply the primer to my left hand until I begin the acrylic application on that hand. Open the acrylic liquid and pour that into the damping dish. Then I'm going to add 3 to 5 drops of the Kiss Apple Fresh acrylic masking liquid. I think I did just 3 drops. Yeah, I'll definitely be using this outside of using the Kiss kit next time I do my nails, because it definitely did mask down the smell a little bit. When my sister came in from work though, she did say that she could smell the acrylic just because of the fouling and the buffing, so it's still sort of in the air, but during the application I didn't too much smell the acrylic. Outside of the instructions, I do like to apply a second coat of primer. And this is where now you're supposed to dip the acrylic brush into the acrylic liquid mixture and stir slightly. Then you wipe the brush onto the paper towel, and now the brush is prepared for application. But I didn't notice that step, so I missed that. If you're still following along at home, we're now to the acrylic application step number 4. It says to dip the brush into the acrylic liquid and then into the powder until a small white ball forms on the end of the brush. You want to place the ball mixture on the nail using a patting motion. Use 2 to 3 balls of acrylic to cover the entire nail surface. It also says, note, remove any acrylic that gets on your cuticle or skin with the manicure stick. I didn't see that step. I missed it. And I'm so used to using the brush itself to remove any excess acrylic that may get on my skin or around the cuticle area. So I guess they include that because this brush is kind of difficult. See how I'm swiping that trying to clean up my cuticle area, but sometimes I just wouldn't be able to remove that excess. The product definitely does set fast, I feel, for a beginner. I was trying to take larger balls just because this wasn't my first time doing my nails, but when you dip into the liquid, definitely try to do the 2 to 3 balls that the instructions recommend. I feel like for your acrylic liquid to acrylic powder ratio, that's probably best to make sure that your acrylic doesn't set fast, because your ball being a little more wet means that you have more time to manipulate the product. Since I'm using tips here, I'm definitely wanting to make sure that I apply some acrylic there. I don't want to have acrylic only towards the cuticle area and then my tip ends up breaking just because I didn't put enough acrylic over that. I like to take my first bead or ball and I apply that right over where the artificial tip kind of begins and where my natural nail is. I have the most strength built up in that area. Then after that, I go in towards the cuticle area with my next ball, and I want to make sure that this is nice and flush with the cuticle areas. If there's ever a time where you apply the ball to the nail while the powder is still visible, dip into the acrylic liquid and pat that over it. I'm trying to use the tip of the brush to make sure I blend that well, but this acrylic was setting so fast on me. I feel like for the instructions, I was probably taking too large of a ball, but I forgot to delete out of my mind the fact that I've already been doing my nails since 2011. These are the kits that I started with, guys, so that's why I thought this would be a cool video to show you all that it is definitely possible. So I'm basically just following these same steps over and over. Part of me wanted to kind of sit this brush to the side and use my acrylic brush that I now use, but I was like, nope, use everything included in the kit if you can. So I tried not to sit it to the side. Let's discuss the benefits of this kit for someone that goes into Walgreens or just purchases this kit that's never done acrylic nails before. Whether these tools and the products included would be beneficial to you, I would definitely say yes. This was my starting point. I would purchase these kits to do my nails, and this is really good just to kind of get a head start at learning versus going to maybe Sally Beauty or checking out Amazon, eBay, wherever you may order acrylic from that will cost you a larger amount of money. You want to sort of get your technique down before you spend extra amount of money and then you haven't really mastered it yet, but you're purchasing $50 acrylic powder. Like, does that make sense? Or that was more so my mindset, like, let me learn this first, because otherwise I feel like you're wasting the good quality products that you did purchase. Not to say that Kiss doesn't make good products, but that more so comes just from not having the proper technique to appreciate the products that you're using. The better that you get with this, then you upgrade your product. Plus, I mean, you get everything in this kit for 15 bucks. I guess y'all get the point that I was trying to make. I don't know if I explained it well, but for a beginner, this is a great kit to start out with. Maybe you could just get a different brush. But yeah, once I finished all of my nails, I dip into whatever acrylic liquid is left. You can pour some more into the brush or into the damping dish and just kind of swipe that over the paper towel to clean your brush for next time. I won't plan on using that brush again, but that's what I do to clean all of my brushes. And you can take the end of the nail brush and tap it over the nails. If you hear that clicking sound, it lets you know that your acrylic is done and you're ready to file the nails. Back to the instructions, it does say to repeat steps 4 and 5 until the tip and nail surface is level, smooth, and has a desirable shape. And then let dry. Always clean the brush between each dipping of the liquid and powder on paper towel. This will keep your brush bristles from hardening and clogging with acrylic mixture. You all saw me wiping my brush every time, but mine still kind of got dirty. If you want to compare that to my videos now, I never have any problems with my acrylic brush getting dirty. So I decided to go ahead and open up this other more strong nail file that I had because I really didn't want to spend all day. I think you all get the point, since I have to wear these nails for real. I don't really have that large of a point to prove just to not use another nail file if needed. Following more of the instructions, it does say file the entire nail surface using the Kiss two-way nail file to even overlay surface. What? File entire nail surface using Kiss two-way nail file to even overlay surface. I guess it sounds better the second time. Then you want to use the white buffing block. It says white, but it's not white, it's pink, to smooth and finish. And then you're just going to polish and go. I decided to also use my nail drill. You don't have to purchase these items. Again, as a beginner, I wouldn't even recommend you just whipping out an electric drill to start off with. Started doing my nails in 2011 and I really didn't even get my own drill, I think, until this year, 2019. Yeah, so definitely possible to only use a hand file on your nails. I'll link some videos down below for you all to see that that's usually all that I use. Me rubbing my hand over my nail helps me to see how smooth the nail is, if there's any ridges, if I need to file an area more, all of that good stuff. Go ahead and wash your hands with soap and water to remove all of the dust before you begin polishing. Otherwise, you'll definitely see that underneath the nails. I'm going to kind of spice mine up a little bit. So this is outside of me using the Kiss kit. I'm using the Madam Glam base gel and I'm going to cure that under my UV lamp for 2 minutes. I have an unboxing on this nail lamp that I'm using. I'll link it down below. I absolutely love it. I purchased this a good couple of years ago. I've never had to replace anything as far as the bulbs go, so that'll be in the description box. I'm taking this color. It doesn't really have a name on it. There's a number on the top. It's going kind of fast. Oh my god, but my subscriber did gift these to me. I'm not sure where they're from. Wanted to keep it simple just because if you were following along with this, that you could kind of do these types of things to your nails as a beginner. I mean, minus the nail lamp, you could just substitute the fact that I'm using UV gel polishes for regular polishes, basically, if you don't have these. After my second coat, it kind of wrinkled on me, so you'll see later on that I'm going to have to take that off. I'm sorry, I'm kind of messing up at this point just because I don't have the products in front of me. But I'll have everything in the description box by the time I upload this. I'll have typed everything and I can go into my film room and do the products and all of that. So I'm speeding this up. It literally takes me the longest amount of time to apply all of these rhinestones to the nails. I definitely didn't want to bore you all with me applying the rhinestones to each one of my nails. I just applied the gel to the nail, and I like to use gel over nail polish just because gel doesn't sit until you put it underneath the lamp, so I have as much time as I need to line everything up. And I'm showing you all up close how my nail wrinkled after I did the second coat, so I had to take that off. Basically, I used the nail file and then just buff it again. You don't want to soak it because you'll end up soaking off the entire nail, and we don't got time for that. but just take your polishes of choice. I kind of freestyle at this point. Whenever I design my nails, it's just like I'm just going with the flow at this point. Before I always do the top gel that I cure, I always make sure your nails dry in between layers if you're using nail polish and not the actual gel. You kind of just do different designs and things like that. And I'm going to work in some cuticle oil. I did wipe off my nails using alcohol. That removes the inhibition layer, or basically the tacky layer of the gel. After you do your acrylic, you can definitely design your nails however you would like. This is what I did. It looks a little complex, but really, if you stare at each nail individually and think about it, just kind of lining up the rhinestones randomly, this is what you get. And then some of the nails just have polish with one rhinestone towards the cuticle area. And yeah, throw on some rings. That's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Questions and comments, be sure to leave all of that down below. If you're a beginner, don't quit. Keep going. You won't learn this technique overnight, but if you keep practicing, maybe get a practice hand. If you have a committed sister like I had that would let you practice on her, then that definitely works. Or just, you know, do it on your non-dominant hand. I'm left-handed, so sometimes I would just practice on my right hand until I got it right. And now when you watch these videos, it's like, oh my god. I'll link a video from 2011, by the way, if you want to check that out. Stick with it. If you want to do nails, you can definitely learn to do so and save some money by doing them yourself. I'm going to go now because this screen has been black for a while. I thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end, click on one of the cards to check out more nail videos on my channel, and I'll talk to you all in my next upload.